7 or 8. What do you have for number 8? Type me your answer, please. Type me your answers for number 8, please. Let me see. We're talking about number 8, right? Yeah, error, it's error somebody wrote. Oh, I see. Okay, let me give this chance. So we have the same picture. I give a chance to redo this. Only in state, make corrections. 2, 8. In the second sentence, if the value of sine of angle, let me see, BAE is 5/13. So would they skip this one? So everything is correct. So make corrections. Solve this problem right now and send me the answer. So the same. You understand problem? Problem 2.8. Only after of I wrote sine of B or BAE equals to 5/13. Good luck. Send me this answer, and after you send, raise your hand. Everybody's supposed to send this answer. Okay. So why is important for me to get your answers? Because based on feedback, I build my lecture. So some of you make mistake. So if you don't send me, just after that you put just, it means you have no idea, right? I have a question. Who need 1 more minute for that? Put your hands down. Put your hands down. Who need 1 moment? 1 more minute. Okay. I give you 1 more, not more, because we have many questions to solve. You can have this. Okay. So I see who did it. Okay. Some students did it, some not. So put your hands down. Who need 1 more minute for this? That's it, right? So the answer is, I will write it down here. And the answer is, few students did it. It's not challenging at all. And the worst answer is like 15 somebody, but after that you make correction. Yes, you know this is sine cannot be more than 1, right? You remember sine function? So the answer is 9/15. 9/15. 9/15. You definitely can simplify wherever you have, but everything derivative to this. If somebody wrote 15 is wrong. Okay. No, 5/13 is wrong. Only this answer. This answer and all derivative of this. Okay, good. Module 1. And this is number 7. You have a graph. Y equals to A times x minus 3 times x minus 7, where A is a constant. The minimum value of y is negative y minimum equals to negative 8. Okay. What the value of A? Well, you know, this is parabola, and this x equals to 3, and this is 7. If I build this, pretend this Cartesian coordinate somehow, and this is line of symmetry, and this is negative 8, and parabola go this way. I just illustrate this, right? You can easily find what? This point, based on symmetry, x of symmetry in this case, right? What we have here. They ask you what is value of A? X of symmetry. Midpoint, x1 plus x2 divided by 2, which is 3 plus 7 divided by 2, which is 5. So this is 5. And coordinate of this is 5 and negative 8. Okay. Now you can override this equation. Y equals to A times x minus 3, and you can plug in these values. X equals to 5 minus 3 times 5 minus 7, and this equals to what? Negative 8. This is 2. This is negative 2. A times negative 4, or negative 4A equals to negative 8. Divide by negative 4 both parts. A equals to 2. Check now. Who understand up to this point? This is typical. Just plug in coordinate of points. We have many of these questions like this. Number 8, few students. I refer to the table you have in front of you. Okay. If student randomly selected from high school, what the probability the student is a boy, given the student either of robotic club or chess club? So let me write fragment to save time. Number 8. Fragment of this table. This robotic club, and this is chess club. And we have boys, because they're asking about boys. And we have how many boys? 40 and 25. And probability is favorable outcome to total, right? You know this. After that, I skip girls, I have total, because they're asking about only boys. And total we have 60 and 40. right? So add them up. Probability of boys in this robotic and chess club equals 40 plus 25 divided by 60 plus 40. Any questions about this? Just definition of probability, nothing else. Put your hands down if you have question, ask me. Okay, let me cross it out. So based on your questions, number 10. Evelyn and a few more students. Number 10. What we know? In number 10, we have f of x, not f of a. F a line, slope equals to 5. Given. What else? F of a equals to 12. F of b equals to 74. Find b minus a. Okay. So what is slope? y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. But this is y's. You see this y's? You can consider this y1 and y2 and this x1, x2. Or 74 minus 12 divided by b minus a equals to 5, or 5 over 1. If you subtract what you have here, 62, cross 5b minus a equals to 62. Divide by 5. Okay, and you instantly get b minus a. You can make mixed number or decimals, whatever, but to understand this concept. You see, so far, I don't go beyond what we did in 7th grade for style prep. Slope, nothing else. It was number 10. Again, I go through most class question first, okay? After that, we can go to any of this question back. Okay. Your student asked about number 12. Let me cross it out, number 12 as well. In number 12, what is given? P or not P, Px plus Q times 2x minus 6 equals. Let me save time and space. I write down equals to somewhere like this. Equals to 16x squared minus 40x plus k. K is constant and works for all x. Okay. What value of k you have? Okay. Well, sometimes we have shortcut. Here, when you have this one is identity equation. What you're supposed to do? You see, we have quadratic here, because x times x is x to the second. Name it identity equation. When two equations the same power equals to each other, right? Their coefficient must be the same. So use FOIL rule like you study, or distributive property, whatever you have, and write down 2px squared minus 6px plus 2q and minus 6q. We have trinomial and we have four terms here. Tetranomial. So simplify k having this two terms with x in one group. You have 2px squared minus, you can write here, 6p plus 2q. If this is minus 2q. Times x and minus 6q. Check it. Negative 6p x minus plus 2qx. And since this equals to right part, you can write line up 16x x to the second minus 40x and plus k. And they equal to each other. If I knew q, I would easily find k, but I don't know k. I don't know q. But first of all, this coefficient equals to each other and this coefficient. So step number one, 2p, they equals to each other. E equals to 16. Divide by 2 both parts. P equals to 8. Now, 6p minus 2q equals to 40. This coefficient equals to each other. But since p equals to 8, plug in 8, and I have 48 minus 2q equals to 40. Minus 48 and minus 48 cancel out, negative 2q equals to negative 8. Divide by negative 2, and you get q equals to 4. And finally, k equals to negative 6q. Negative 6q. Grab this, plug in over there. Okay, somebody typing question. What is your question? Why? Because they equals to each other. Coefficient supposed to match in front of x with the same power. But since x, we found q equals to 4, plug in. Negative 6 times 4 equals to negative 20. So all this question, the same rules. Just use FOIL rule or distributive and make equality of this two. Okay. Equation. This was question for who asked me this question. Durable, you understand 100%? Okay, Jasmine. All soon ask me. Few soon ask me, right? Elisa, 100%. So, rule of thumb. If you understand this question, raise hand. If you don't understand, ask me question. Whatever they do, you use the same way. Next is it's just routine. 15 some students. Where is 15? In 15. We have -3 less or equals to x less or equals to 7. Which of the following absolute value expression represent the same set of number in the interval? So we use it midpoint algorithm. What is it? Step number 1. Just for illustration, right here 7. And this is -3. And this solution set for x. Step number 1. When you have this question without thinking, zero thinking, zero creativity. Step number 2. We name it midpoint algorithm, right? Students, everything. X midpoint equals x1 plus x2 divided by 2. -3 plus 7 divided by 2. It would be 4 divided by 2, which is 2. And this is 2. X midpoint equals to 2. Step number 3. Find these distances. This is midpoint. This distance, I don't know, distance from midpoint to edges of this. I don't know if I just use this terminology. 7 minus this distance equals 7 minus 2, or 2 minus -3 equals to 5. So this distance is 5. Write it down. This very common question. Who understands the 100%? Raise your hand. And we have a formula. Let me use red color for this. Never forget. Absolute value of x minus midpoint. Always, in this case, less or equals to this distance. Distance, what they ask you? Distance, I use d, and this my distance. So what it shows? It shows whenever you have x and you subtract this midpoint, you always will be in this interval. In our case, plug in x minus 2, and this is less or equals to 5. Okay, this is step number 4. Who understand this 100%, this algorithm? Okay, check mark. Timur Malik. Okay, good. Okay. So again, whatever they ask you, these questions use these 4 steps. Who knows how this formula It's formula for SAT, or it can be used in real life. Who knows how we use it in real life, this formula? No, but I already explained you this. Keep in mind, SAT is not just SAT. SAT is a life. Whatever you do here, extremely important in your life. You use this formula behind the scene, result of this formula every day. When you go to nice engineering stuff, right, school, you will study discipline, tolerance, and lending, right? People from Europe I have here, you name it, допуски и посадки for people from Europe. And what is it? Everywhere we have standards, wherever you have. And pretend you have a pencil box and a pencil. You want to be guaranteed that this pencil box fits this pencil. And you provide some impossible to make anything exact size. Or you have outlet on the wall with these two holes. You want to be guaranteed that when you put this, this fork from your charging device, it goes exactly over there, not bigger, not small. Or you have mesh gears in your mechanical watch. You cannot guarantee that they fit each other. So every time we put some dimension, let's say 2 inches plus minus, or for instance, 2 centimeters plus minus 0.05. So it could be a little bit, it's supposed to be between this interval. If it's bigger, it doesn't fit. You understand? All this idea based on this formula. That's why Swiss watch so expensive, one of these reasons. It's not only brand. Why? Because they created these gears. After that, in assembly line, people in white gowns, they measure under microscope every precisely device, every this gear, and put selectively one to each other to have minimum space between them. Minimum. The space supposed to be almost minimum in this case. If you use Chinese watch, it look like this, because it's very serious, this one. This formula based on tolerance and lending, very important. Keep in mind. Now, if you don't have any questions, let me go to the next one. Number 18, very fast. We have Cartesian coordinates, and we have some graph like this. Which the following define f? Well, when you have this graph, always recall, for instance, when you have graph y equals to x, it goes like this. When you have y equals to absolute value of x, based on definition of absolute value, you have to make symmetrical and eliminate this part. It's y equals to x, this graph. And this graph is the same but shifted to the right some units and up some units, right, for this one. So if you look at multiple choice, I am looking for local multiple choice. It's supposed to be, if shifting to the right, it's supposed to be x minus something. We have x minus something, x minus 1, for instance, because this is 1. Translation. And shifted up is plus 1. Okay. And in addition, you have to find the slope. So instantly you get this one. Only you have to be sure you have two answers like this. This slope. And slope you can find if you have coordinate of any 2 points based on formula we use. M equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. When you find slope based on this data, plug in over there, you get the answer. It's just translation. Who understands this 100%? Okay, translation of graph. Number 20. Again, I go from multiple class questions. 20. In 20, y equals to negative 1 over 2x to the second plus 4x minus k. Y is less than 0 for all x's. Find k minimum. Find k minimum. Let me make a sketch. So pretend it's Cartesian coordinates. And this leading coefficient is negative. If it's negative, and they said y always less than 0, this is y, and this x-axis split by two semi-planes, above 0 and less than 0. So I know this graph is over there, less than 0. In addition, since leading coefficient is negative, graph's supposed to go over something like this, based on this, right? To understand this, this is key thing. Visualize this, right? Mark, Veronica. If you have a question, ask me. But what is it if you look at this visually? It means the graph does not intersect x-axis, even doesn't touch this. When it happens, means discriminant supposed to be less than 0. So discriminant b squared minus 4ac supposed to be less than 0. Okay, students, put your hands down. Who does not know what is discriminant? Everybody knows, right? Discriminant, I'll give a look at this, students. Pretend I have equation ax squared plus bx plus c. A, b, and c coefficients. This is b, coefficient in front of x. This is a, coefficient in front of x squared. And c is this guy. Why? Where it goes? Because when you solve quadratic formula, I just remind you, a is to a minus b plus minus square root of b to the second minus 4ac. And this guy, we name it discriminant. Because if it's negative, you can take square root of negative instead of real numbers, all in complex. So if it's negative, system never intersect x-axis. Student who raised hand, did you get this explanation? Yes, good. Now after that, just mechanics. What is b? B is 4 minus 4. A is negative 1 over 2. And C is negative k. And this is supposed to be less than 0. Or minus is minus. It's 16. This is 2. And this is k. 16 minus 2k, they ask you, right? This is number 20. They ask you to this one. So minus 16 and minus 16, you have, I continue with that, negative 2k less than negative 16 divided by negative 2 both parts. Don't forget to switch sign of inequality to opposite, right? And in this case, x would be greater than 8. And ask you, what is minimum value? If this is x, this is 8, and this solution set, so greater than 8 supposed to be 9, and 9 is a minimum. This idea of a discriminant, who understand up to this point 100%? 100. Mark? Timur Malik? Yes, hands down. It was 20. 21 few students. You have a triangle. Make a picture. And this perpendicular. And this RST. They like this RST instead of ABC. Okay. RT is 25. In England, there are two mathematicians, Littlewood and Hardy. If you read their books, it would be not convenient to read because instead of ABC, they write zeta, mu, omega. They like these fancy letters, like these guys, instead of ABC. Anyway, and this is 12. What the area of RSQ? RSQ. Okay. And this guy is 25. So this is X. If I knew this one, I will multiply this height by this X, but I don't know this X. If this is X, this must be what? 25 minus X. And you know the theorem about perpendicular from the right angle to hypotenuse. This perpendicular, according to this theorem, product of this times this equals this to the second power. Okay, we name it geometric mean. So X times 25 minus X equals to 12 to the second power. Again, theorem about perpendicular driven from right angle to hypotenuse is equal geometric mean or product of these two. We have many relations, but this is most helpful. Okay, who understand this key thing? After this, just mechanics. Who understand this? We did it many times, remember? I can give you handouts for this different application if you'd like. We have different cases, but it's one side is good, but from another, a lot of memorization. I like this. This theorem is very powerful. It's enough. And this 144, and this is 25x minus x squared equals to 144 minus 144. Normalize. And what we have? Negative x squared minus 1 minus plus 25x and minus 144 equals to 0. Or multiplied by negative 1, I need this leading coefficient is positive. You have x squared minus 25x plus 144. Easy. Okay, who understand up to this point? Who has questions? No questions for this? Okay, if you don't have any questions, I'm soon ask you a question about, well, I remember I gave you this theorem. Yes, I gave you many times. But anyway. So, x minus 9 times x minus, and this equals to 0. 16 equals to 0. 9, 144, 9 plus 16, negative 25. Yes. So either x equals to 9 or x equals to 16. Since you know, for instance, how to find area of triangle. Area of triangle equals 9 times 12 divided by 2. Or 9 times 16 divided by 2. I just count. Look at this. Do they have restriction? The smallest area, what is it? What is area of triangle? No restrictions. Who understand this up to this point? You think this theorem, it's it. After that, just mechanics. Everybody knows about quadratic equation. It was 21. Okay, many students ask 23. What is 23? Let me find this. 23. You have x minus 2y equals to 8 on 8. Line n is perpendicular to line n. It's perpendicular. At point PQ, at this point, and passes through origin. What value of P? We did many times. Normalize it to find slope, mx plus b. Minus x and minus x. You have cancel out negative 2y equals to negative x plus 8. Divide by negative 2. Cancel out y equals to 1 over 2x minus 4. Slope equals to 1 over 2. So slope of line L equals to 1 over 2. So slope of line N equals to upside down and negative reciprocal. It will be negative 2. Since line perpendicular, the slope is negative reciprocal. And since this goes through origin, line goes like this. And the slope equals to negative 2. Okay, through origin. So I can write equation of this line. Y of line N equals to negative 2x. Good. Now, since they intersected these two lines, this original line in some point, what is it? Y equals to x over 2 plus 8, let's say this 8, they have some point of intersection, P and Q, somewhere. You can make equality of these two lines. So take this negative 2x. They have common point. You can write these two lines, but you can do another way. Just plug in, substitute. Instead of y, you plug in 2x, right? Over there. Then you have x minus 2 times negative 2x equals to 8. Or x plus 4x equals to 8. Or 5x equals to 8. Divide by 5, divide by 5. It's 8 over 5, which is 1.6. But what is PQ? P is x and Q is y. And they ask you to find P. So this equal to P because this is x. Who understand this 100%? Who has questions? Ask me questions. Okay, good, good, good. It was 23, let's say 25 many students. Okay, 24 also. Mark, right? 24, very fast. We almost finished the first part. First, we had more questions. What do we have? You have f of x. And this is y. And vertex at 2, negative 8. For the coordinate of vertex, y equals to f of x plus 3 plus 10. So again, original vertex of this one was 2 and negative 8. Let me make some room. This f of x. When you have x plus 3 plus, it means it goes to the left, right? So x, you're supposed to subtract 3. And plus 10, it means y is supposed to go up. And this would be the answer. Just count. Translation. See the same tense, the second. Who understand? Mark, how you understand this kind? Yes, everybody. 25. 25. They give a graph. I refer to the graph. I take value from this graph. It goes through origin. And this is equation of this graph y equals to f of x plus 5 minus 8. This graph. And let's find this graph. It's too general. I want to have specific. I take any points from this graph. For instance, what we have here. Any point is like 8 over 4. 4 and 8. Try sovereign. M equals to 8 over 4, which is 2 on this graph. And since it goes to origin, you can easily write y equals to x. This is my specifically this graph. And this one is the same, because this graph of this line. And I can write that f of x plus 5, like we did a few minutes ago, minus 8 equals to 2x, right? So far, so good. If you add 8 to both parts, and look at what we have, f of x plus 5 equals to x plus 8. We got this one. And now they ask you to find f of x. Why I don't like this one? Because it's binomial. What they ask you to find? Monomial. So I use red color. This is crucial for many problems, how to convert function from binomial to monomial. Easy, let, I use deliberately red color. X plus 5 equals to t. If you subtract 5 from both parts, x, I will not cross it out, I want to have it nicely done, right, this one. But you can see this x equals to t minus 5. Okay, make the substitution. This is powerful way how to decrease from, I use this plate or this space. F instead of x plus 5 is t equals 2, but x equals t minus 5 plus 8, or 2t minus distributive minus 10 plus 8. It would be 2t minus 2. This is my graph. What is it? Let's analyze what we have. I can here use this space. So f of t equals 2t minus 2. It means if you have t equals to 1, I put here, substitute. T equals to 10, I substitute. If t equals to x, why I'm doing this? Because I have to return to original function, f of x. Whatever I have here, f of x equals to x minus 2. This is classical example in many, many SHSAT tests. Who understand this 100%? Students, Timur Malik, yes. Use it like algorithm. When you have this, I think about something else, not even about this problem. It's supposed to be automatically. No creativity, zero creativity. All these questions you have to understand, but this is not creative problem. Let me put this way. This is a routine problem. About bathroom, I don't mind, but not right now. Let me finish this part 1. After that, you can go. Okay. Okay, number 1, what we have, 26, 27. Alice can do in 7 hours. Hey, it's working together without thinking too much. Create a table. Alice, and who's the second one? Bob. Working together. time alone in hours. Part of job in 1 hour. Whatever they have, days, hours, years, whatever. Incorporate data. This they said 7. This you have to find, but together they do 5 hours. If you eat pizza for 7 days, for 1 day you eat 1/7 part. As well as here, 1/x and this 1/5. If you add these two guys, you get this one. And you have 1/7 plus 1/x equals to 1/5. To understand this working together, again, this is algorithm. Okay, put your hands down. Who need help with this one? Easy, right? Nobody. How to solve this problem? So one of these you can multiply by 35, for instance, we have, right? Or use LCD for this whole stuff, right? For instance, 1/x minus 1/7 and minus 1/7 equals 1/5 minus 1/7. So LCD is 35 equals 7 minus 5 is 2/35. If 1/x equals to 2/35, cross 2x is equal to 35. Divide by 2 both parts. So far, so good? Good. Again, students, let me show one thing about creativity. I show a few times, maybe in this group or different group. So this is the best book for creativity in cybernetics, right? Did I show this book for you? Who have seen this book in my course? Okay, some of you, right? This book was written #1, genius, Henry Schuller, Creativity, Exact Science. Even creativity, according to him, is exact science. You have to develop creativity to solve really challenging questions. So 99% of this test, no creativity. You have to understand this, yes. Not like robot, yes. But they are routine problems. In this book, he made example. In medieval time, people had fun. No, imagine you live in medieval time, no computers, no cell phone, nothing, right? Two kinds of entertainment. Tournament on the central area of these towns, cities, where they kill each other, right? These knights. And the second, if you read history of math, they solve math problem. And some math problem, and they pay a lot of money for people who won in this contestant, right? In this competition. And for instance, you have quadratic equation he wrote in this book. It took sometimes weeks to get this rule, because how they solve it, they try to use trial and error. Impossible to guess number, especially if number is kind of decimals forever. Imagine you have time machine and you get to this medieval time and you use quadratic formula. You'll be like magician. 1 minute you solve any of this problem. In this book, this is idea. Whatever we do here in SAT, no creativity practical. You have to understand deeply foundation, 100%. But all these questions, if you understand this, based on algorithm. Wherever I do this, I don't think too much. I see working together, this is way how to solve, because you have minimum time. And he usually presented all these books, whatever he wrote. Okay, make this one. And this how he look like. You can Google him. Trees, Henry Schuller. And there we together with him, with my teacher. I use a lot of his ideas for this preparation. You don't know about this, but behind the scene. So you can, if some of you will deserve to get internship, you get this kind of book from us to develop your analytical thinking skills. This is no tutor, they have no idea about this, but this is one of the strongest part of thinking trees. Google is TRIZ, but not right now. Okay, this is very important. Why I'm telling about this? Because if you understand algorithm, you solve any problem like 1, 2, 3. You're not supposed to think too much, but you have to understand what you're doing. Okay, the last one from this module is 27. Xy equals to square root of 32. And x over y equals to 1 over 2 to power 1 over 2. What value of x? You remember formula, for instance, a to power 1 over m is the same like m's root of a. So I can write it the same like square root of 1 over 2. This means square root, because nobody writes 2. It's for sure, by default. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 2 is square root of 2. Now, xy. And what is 32? 32 is square root of 16 times 2. What I did, I extract the greatest perfect square. I make more room. Square root of product equals product of square roots. It's the same like square root of 16 times square root of 2. Square root of 16 is 4 times square root of 2. Okay. Now, if I plug in here, what we get, I can plug in anywhere. For instance, x over y equals 1 over square root of 2. Y equals x times square root of 2. So this is equation 1. This equation 2. I plug in this 2 to 1. Instead of y, grab this one and plug in straight over there. I have x times square root of 2 and equals 4 square root of 2. Divide by square root of 2 both parts. Cancel out. X times x is x to the second equals to 4. Divide by, take square root of both parts, and x equals to plus minus 2. But they said it's positive. They don't say anything, but it's supposed to be positive. Okay, why? Because product equals square root of 32. It's supposed to be positive. So the answer is 2. So I very detailed explain module 1. Who understand this everything over there? So I believe that this impossible not to get perfect for this. If you go through this few times at home, you get perfect. Now, 3 minutes break. Put your hands down before this. Hands down. 3 minutes break. Go to the bathroom. Come back. Raise your hand. We continue. Second part, we have less questions. No problem. Durable. So waiting for Evelyn, Ivan. Australia. Yes, Evelyn. Here. Okay, put your hands down, everybody. Let's continue the second part. I'm gonna go through mostly questions. So the second part, we start from number 5, the first. In 5, we have a triangle. My suggestion, make picture bigger, because sometimes they have very small and not convenient to work with. Right angle and B, AB, CD, and they provide some angle, 60, 30, length of line segment BD, whereas BD 10. This is 10. Area ADC. Area of triangle ADC. Well, what is my goal, first of all? If I knew these dimensions, I would use formula area of triangle base, for instance, base times height divided by 2, one of this area. We have many formulas for triangle. And base would be what? DC, obtuse triangle. Height would be AB, and divided by 2. So my goal, if I use this approach, to find DCAB. So far, so good. Always think about your goal. In trees, we name it ideal final result. What is supposed to find ideally? These ingredients. So let's do slowly. Triangle, step number 1. It's actually this one, number 1. And this is my 2. An area of, or let's say, triangle ABC is right triangle. Okay. And we have leg BD equals to 10. So AB, one of this way, the fastest probably, equals 10 times tangent of 60. Or 10 square root of 3. I instantly got this height with this 10 square root of 3. Who understand this 100%? 100, right? Jasmine, if you have a question, ask me. Again, if you don't understand, just ask me, I explain again. In SOHCAHTOA, like you did artificial in your school, you know tangent opposite to adjacent, and vice versa from here. Okay. So I know this is 10. Okay. Now, in step number 3, in triangle A, it's not ABC, I use ABD. It's also correct, but I'm talking about ABD, this triangle. Now we're talking about this triangle, ABC. ABC is also right triangle. You see this big one. And I can easily find this leg. If this is 10 square root of 3, BC equals 10 square root of 3 multiplied by cotangent. Or if you don't like this cotangent, we have another way. You know that the leg opposite of 30 degrees equals to half of hypotenuse. We did many times because sine of 30 is 1/2. So again, theorem, very important. The leg opposite of 30 degrees equals to half of hypotenuse. So this hypotenuse equals 20 times square root of 3. You can apply Pythagorean from this square minus this square, you get this square. Or you can, if I use this approach, it's faster. You can use 20 square root of 3 times cosine of 30 times cosine of 30. Or 20 square root of 3. Cosine of 30 is square root of 3/2. And 2 goes into 20 10 times. And 10 times square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. Times 10 is 30. So this entire equals to 30. And this is degrees. Don't be confused, this is degrees. And this length. If this is 30, this is 10, this is supposed to be what? 30 minus 10, which is 20. Beautiful, I have everything. I have DC, which is 20. I have AB, which is 10 square root of 3. And 2 goes into 20 10 times. And 10 times 10 is 100 square root of 3. Okay, one of this way. Who understand this 100%? 100, 100, 100. Okay, good. If you have, in addition, they allow you to this software, and good idea if you know this stuff. If you don't remember, use sine of cosine of 30 from your scientific calculator. Okay, if you have question, ask me. Number 7. 7. Many students. 7. Let me erase everything for number 7. And number, I already closed it. 2, 7. Two, 7. You have g of x. This is given equals px squared plus p square x and minus 12. They said p is greater than 0. In addition, x minus 3 is a factor. Okay. And they ask you to find p, right, in this case. 2, 7. Let me clarify again. 2, 7. Find p. Okay. So accordingly, remain the theorem. If this is a factor, remain the theorem. Remember we did many times? It's actually a sequence of small theorem of Bézout theorem. This great mathematician Bézout. When this equals to 0, when this equals, when x equals to 3. So if you plug in x equals to 3 over there instead of x, this is supposed to be equal to 0 because no remainder. It's factor. Let's do this. It's equals p times 3 to the second plus p squared times 3 minus 12 equals to 0. No remainder is equal to 0. Or 9p plus 3p squared minus 12 equals to 0. Rearrange this convenient way, and preliminary I can simplify by 3. If I simplify by 3, what I'll get? And I put it in the first. P squared, 3p squared divided by 3, p squared plus 3p and minus 4 equals to 0. So far, so good. Understand up to this point everything. Okay, let me see what is written originally here. Well, if you plug in here, you can factorize it, right? What you have, how you can factorize it? -4. You have just a second. 3. After that, just simple quadratic equation. You have this, right? And when you factorize it, I want to see that I wrote everything correctly. Okay, it would be p plus 4 and times p minus 1 equals to 0. From here, you can find p. Understand this 100%, 100. Just remain the theorem. Remain the theorem. Let's go forward. We don't have too much time. Next is, again, I go through most frequently asked questions. And after that, return to any of these questions. We have, for instance, let me read this one. Number 12. Keep in mind, ask me, I'll give you extra time. 12. We have, what is it? N fourth root of x cubed times third root of x to the second and divided by square root of x, and this equals x to power m. I just remind you formula, very important formula. A to power m over n is the same like nth root of a to power m. And another one, a to m times a to n, a m plus n, and a over m by a over n, a m minus n, whatever we have. So better to operate with fraction power than radical. It would be, instead of this, I write x to power 3 over 4 times x to power 2 over 3 and divided by x to power 1 over 2, which is equal formula 2. Let me apply simultaneously 2 and 3. I get x to power 3 over 4 plus 2 over 3 product and quotient and minus 1 over 2. And this equals to x to power m. Now pretend you're in 4th grade, add, subtract fractions. Bases are the same. Left p equals to right part. You can make assumption this guy equal to this guy. Only fraction subtraction by yourself. Understand this 100% up to this point. 100. Just me and Mark. If you don't understand, ask me questions. Ivan? Good, hands down. It was 12. Let me cross it out. Next, 15. 15. What we have in 15? Okay, again, this is standard 15. About solutions. We have millions of these, millions, literally these problems, all of them the same way. The best way to create a matrix. Read this. Technician to solution. Solution A and solution B and mixture. Okay, create the table for matrix. Percent of acid. After that, look, this what unit they use. Milliliters, make it nice. Or vertical. What they ask you? Milliliters. Milliliters. And milliliters of acid each. After that, incorporate data. What they said? 40%. And this is what it is, 60%. And this is diluted solution, which is 50%. And this is total 100 milliliters. Put here 100. And this, I don't know, X. And this is 100 minus X. And 40% is the same like 0.4. The same 0.6 and the same like 0.5. And this column is product of these two, always. 0.4 times 100 minus X. 0.6x, 0.5 times 100. And if you add these two ingredients, you're supposed to get this one. And you can write 0.6x plus 0.4 times 100 minus x equals 0.5 times 100. Already the question what they ask you about. How many milliliter solution A? Don't forget to answer this. Always put in all what they ask you about. From this equation, you have to find x. Who needs help solving this equation? Put your hands down. This equation. So my suggestion, before to solve, just multiply everything by 10. Why? Because you have whole numbers. You have 6x plus 4 times 100 minus x equals 5 times 100. Simple equation, you find x, but don't forget, plug in over there your result. Okay, so far so good? Good. This was 15. Next, 17. In 17, you have functions g of t, 50,000. So small numbers sometimes we type. To power 100, 108. To power t. T years. They specify. And the question is, you have to convert this when you have m months. M month. I need years. How to convert months to years? Easy. If I divide it by 12, I get T. Because in 1 year, we have 12 months. And look at this way, we have m over 12. If you plug in here, m over 12. Okay. So we have A. Okay. So straightforward. Who understand this 100%? 100. Good. What a question they ask you? 21. 21. What we have in 21? These two lines parallel. A, B, E. Okay. Area of triangle ABE. Area 1 equals to 35. And this over the CD. Area 2 equals to 315. Okay, AB equals to 10. This is 10. CD, X. Step number 1. You can easily prove that triangle ABE is similar to triangle CD. Why? If two parallel lines and this transversal alternate interior angles are the same. This is transversal, this alternate the same. And then vertical the same. AA. Angles of one equals to another one, they're similar. If two shapes are similar, then remember we did many times, ratio of the areas equals to square of linear ratios, right? For instance, you can write area 1 to area 2, which is 35 over 315, equals square of linear ratios, 10 over x to the second. Simplify this 1, this is 9. Okay. And you can write 10 over x to the second equals to 1 over 9. Or take square root of both parts. And you have 10 over x equals to 1 over 3. X equals to 30. We did it. It's one line problem. I explained previous lecture. Who understand this 100%? 100, 100, 100. Okay, good. It was 21. Next, based on your frequency, tune. Again, be patient. I give you my extra time. But you're responsible for redo everything. 24. 24. In 24. 24. F of x, they have a function. F of 4 equals to 8. Good, I just write what is given. 0 less or equals to 3. If the solution of inequality f of x is less or equals to 0. Read the following, define f. Pretend I have Cartesian coordinates somehow. And this is 0. And this is 3. Okay. And this is a quadratic function. Quadratic function. So quadratic function is parabola, is symmetrical. And you make, if you look at this, you have two roots, it's the y and this is x. I try to make some parabola here. Okay, good. That's how I represent it. And you can represent this function quadratic f of x equals a times x minus x1 times x minus x2, or a, some coefficient, I don't know what is it, x1 is 0, this is 0, times x minus 3, or a times x minus 3. So this is my function. Look again what we have here. Okay, and they ask which form will divide. And they said f of 4 equals to 8. Beautiful. So when x equals to 4, y equals to 8. And this is f of x. So f of 4 equals 8 times 4 minus 3, and this equals to 8. Or this is 1. I get 8 times 4 equals to 8 divided by 4 both parts. Not this one, not this one, this one. And a equals to 2. So since a equals to 2, I know more specifically this function. I can write f of x equals 2x times x minus 3. Okay. And they ask you which one. They use expanded form. Well, distributive, 2x squared minus 6x. If you look at multiple choice, this is C. To understand this 100%, 100. Good, good, good. Durable, yes. Be patient, we almost explain everything. I almost explain everything for you. And question asked 27. What we have at 27? X plus 2 square root of x equals to 24. Let, like we did today, make substitution. Let square root of x equals to t. If I put both parts to the second power, I get x equals to t to the second. Why? Because this is hidden quadratic equation. And this will be t to the second plus 2t equals to 24. Minus 24 and minus 24. I have t squared plus 2t minus 24 equals to 0. Right? Any questions so far? T plus 6 times t minus 4. François Vieta factorization. And t equals to negative 6 or t equals to 4. This is impossible because square root must be positive. So if t equals to 4, so square root of x equals to 4, what they ask you to find? Find x. Well, put both parts to the second power. X equals to 16. Many questions based on substitution. I already used to this substitution. You can use any letter for this. So practically I explain most pre-class questions. If you still have any question, ask me, I explain you. If you still struggling for some questions. No questions, good. So my request, students. Many spoke to some students and to some parents, and now our target to help you. What we did, we uploaded few lectures to YouTube and Facebook for you specifically, right? How to work with this? I just explained somebody right how to work with it. Easy. Open this handout, related handouts. You can pause it, practice again. If you see everything I did today, there is no new topics here. Okay. One parent's call today about logarithm, sorry. It's not a problem. Logarithm is beautiful idea in math, but they don't include in this test logarithm. For 1 hour, you'll be super professional logarithm, but they don't ask you. Sometimes I apply this because it's very helpful. Whatever we do, you're supposed for, according to my estimation, you're supposed to get perfect score for everything. To be successful, go over through previous questions, through previous tests, and go to our Facebook and YouTube Farber Center. Take your handouts and practice few times, unless you do it semi-automatically with understanding what you're doing, right? Because the only place where we teach you conceptual thinking. Understand? If you ask any center, they don't even know this terminology. I'm in education almost 50 years. I develop conceptual thinking behind the scene. And they only teach you how to solve some particular problem. Millions problem, you need millions years. If you understand concept, you win. So my question for you, if you upload this lecture on Facebook, YouTube, only one condition, if you want to really practice. Who will practice with these lectures? Again. What about Dilarbo and Sasha? So again, I see you not practicing because course, nobody get like 97 here, nobody. If you got 96 in one, in second you fail 85. It's not what I expect because they count not module, they count overall. If let's say you get 93, but you completely failed the second one, 81. Who would like to have average 92 and 81? Add them up, what is it? It's garbage. It's not what you deserve to be perfect in this case. You understand my point? Or 96, 85. It's not passing. Overall, it's not high score. It's very moderate score. So again, keep in mind, I never criticize students. I just want to help you. I give you like almost 30 minutes, my present, but I expect from you to have perfect scores. So students, you will send you another, after my lecture, another test, and we will make, it takes time to upload new lecture, and go over through all these lectures we have in Farber Center, Facebook, YouTube, and try to develop your skill. I easily will see this. If you ask me the same questions, it means you're not practicing. plus students who did not send me your solutions, send me, you must. Okay, not to have zeros here. The fourth and last supposed to be some number. Don't be afraid, whatever you send is fine. But you have to send. Mine supposed to study what you did in my AI platform. So far, so good, students. No questions? Good. I will send you this homework today, and we will send you probably tomorrow this link. Who need to get previous link as well? Previous lecture. We send you a couple lectures or so in descending order. The latest is the first one. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy math.